Okay, we are back into our regular agenda here. So up next is review of committee business. First up is athletic committee. Mr. Walsh.
Number one, consideration to approve Ryan Sinclair as the 2022-23 head junior high boys basketball coach, pending receipt of all paperwork. Number two, consideration to approve Steve Sinclair as the 2022-23 assistant junior high boys basketball coach, pending receipt of all paperwork. Number three, consideration to approve John Klutz as the 2022-23 winter weight room advisor. Co-advisor, sorry. That is all.
That is all. Okay. Up next is personnel committee, Mr. Creed.
Number one, consideration to approve a conference request from Sean Gilday to attend new superintendent's academy sessions on 11/17/22 through 11/18/22 and 1/9/23 through 1/10/23 with district costs of $1,457. That's $560 registration, $188 mileage, $609 hotel, and $100 for meals. Number two, consideration to approve a memorandum of understanding with the Glendale Education Support Professionals Association regarding remote work on flexible instruction days. Number three, consideration to approve a contract addendum with Sean Gilday regarding vacation days. Number four, consideration to approve a contract addendum with Troy Epley regarding vacation days. Number five, consideration to approve the resignation of Anthony Moore as a professional staff member with a release date no later than 1/6/23 and to advertise his vacancy. Number six, consideration to approve the resignation of Marcy Muzingo as a professional staff member with a release date no later than 1/6/23 and to advertise her vacancy. Number seven, consideration to approve the advertisement of any vacancies determined by in-house transfers to fill our technology education and special education teacher vacancies. Number eight, consideration to grant permanent employment to Amanda Kutcher as a support staff member as she has successfully completed her probation period, effective 10/30/22. Number nine, consideration to approve Nicole Picard to fill a paraprofessional vacancy, effective 11/16/22. And number 10, consideration to approve Peyton Bradford as a food service substitute, pending receipt of all required paperwork. And that is all.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, number three and number four, I think this came up before with one of the other superintendents, and I could see this trickling down, and I don't see why it shouldn't, to other administrators saying they want the same thing, and even the teachers, if they don't take their sick days, it said when they retired, getting a percentage of that, what they'd say, okay, then I want paid for the days I didn't miss, credit. I mean, I just think it's opening up a can of worms.
Okay. Bill, said comment? Okay, anybody else, anything in personnel? Okay.
Number seven, we have no one that applied, or we haven't advertised yet,
It's advertised.
and no one has applied, we have.
Yeah, we're still, the deadline, Heidi, what's the deadline up for the advertising?
We said it would be open to fill, but I think 10 days is, next week.
So let's wait and see what happens with that 10 days.
Do you have anyone who has applied in-house?
For these two positions?
Yes, yes.
Currently, no, but we might have, I'm under the impression we might have one apply in-house. But not yet, at this point, I have not received anything.
Anybody else have anything in personnel? Building and grounds, George, would you mind doing building and grounds since Ken's not here? Yep.
Number one, consideration to approve the following use of facilities requests. A, GHS Student Council, Kristen Lloyd, high school gym on 2/11/23 for a dance with additional chaperones of Daphne Pusey, Ethan Meneagle, and Nancy Gober. And B, GHS Guidance Kimberly Kozak, high school cafeteria on 3/10/23 for a brunch for the students of the station.
Anybody have questions in building and grounds? Hearing none, we'll move into discipline curriculum. Kay's not here. Theo, would you mind doing discipline curriculum?
Consideration to approve the following field trip request. Troy Epley to take one student to Camden County as the station of the blind on 10/25/22 with district cost of $20 for the van, additional chaperones, Gia McFields, Curtis Henry, and Mrs. Rectorati. Justice, Hudak, Brad O'Hare, to take 7 students to Bellwood High School on 11/17/22 for a reading competition with a district cost of $100, $25 for the van, $75 admission. Kim Kozak, who takes 69 students to the GACTC on 11/21 for a tour with district cost of $220 for buses. Additional chaperones with Tyler and Ethan Manville and Laura Greens. Levy to take 6 students to State College High School on 1/11/23 through 1/13/23 for PMEA District 4 course with district cost of $1,893, $75 for the vans, $715 for admissions, $200 for meals, $120 for substitute, and $833 for lodging. Jeremy Baylor to take students to Huntington High School on 2/9/23 through 2/12 for PMEA District 4 van with district cost of $1,683, $75 for the van, $608 for admission, $100 for meals, $240 for subs, $660 for lodging. Julie Knoll to take 20 to 30 students to Forest Hill High School on 4/15 for a competition with a district cost of $162 for the bus. Additional chaperones, Daryl Knoll, Emily Knoll, Sherry Beers, Dee Phillips, Stephen H., Brian H., and Bethany Young. Julie Knoll to take 25 students to Johnstown High School on 4/22 for a competition with district costs of $194 for the bus. Additional chaperones, Daryl Knoll, Emily Knoll, Sherry Beers, Dee Phillips, Stephanie H., Ben H., Bethany Young. Larry Patui to take 60 students to an Altoona Curve game on 5/25 for a performance with district costs of $230 for buses. Additional chaperones, Jennifer Patui, Lisa Detweiler, Beth Lloyd, Faith Bollinger, Kristen Lloyd, Mary Beth Frank. Consideration to approve a referral, communication, and transfer agreement with Impact Counseling Services, LLC, for the 2/22 to 23 school year at no cost to the district. Consideration to approve a school-to-work transfer program at Cambria County Assistant for the Blind and Handicapped agreement for the 2022 to 23 school year with a cost of $65 with the assessment testing and $45 per day for each student. Consideration to approve the revision of board policy 222, tobacco use, pending review and approval of school solicitor. Consideration to approve the purchase of a bridge intervention set 1 from the Math Learning Center totaling $1,100 with easers to fund. Consideration to approve the renewal of a reading aids program license from Edmonton totaling $1,600 with easer to fund. Consideration to approve the purchase of books for English classes from Amazon totaling $718.98 with easer to funding. Consideration to approve the purchase of an interactive webinar Essentials Learning Pathway for Total Solution from N2Y LLC totaling $3,250 with funding from users. Consideration to approve the purchase of unique learning system license from N2Y LLC totaling $621 with easer funding. 3. Consideration to approve the purchase of testing materials from Pearson totaling $5,931.04 with easer funding. 3. Consideration to approve the purchase of gifted evaluation materials from ProEd Incorporated totaling $168.30 with easer 3 funding. Consideration to approve the purchase of a WJIV complete kit for testing materials from Riverside Insights totaling $3,152.60 with easer 3 funding. Consideration to approve the purchase of a FAW, FAR, FAM combination kit for testing materials from PAR totaling $2,197.74 with easer 3 funding. Consideration to approve the agreement in lieu of expulsion for student number 2022-0071. Consideration to approve revision to board policy 123 finished scholastic athletes, and 707 use of school facilities to reflect no activities will be out of the district on Sundays by any team, organization, or group. Consideration to approve an update tuition rate of $225 a day per student requiring emotional support services with our current Pyramid Health Care Incorporated, Soaring Heights School. Agreement effective 8/1/22 through 7/31/23.
I believe that's all. Thank you, Dale. That was a mouthful.
Yeah,
Anybody have any questions in discipline and curriculum?
yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
Okay, number 15.
Which one?
Number
15, okay.
Okay, I just wanna hear from the board, heard it from my daughter and my son-in-law. I wanna know what is the schedule of use on Saturdays and Sundays here on both buildings, elementary, for use for athletics or whatever. Is it totally packed? You know, I mean, is it scheduled?
It's scheduled, yeah, Sundays are scheduled as well.
But is there a downtime on Saturdays or Sundays? I just wanna know for sure before I go there.
Well, downtime meaning.
Yeah, but it isn't scheduled.
Oh, no, I think is the
Is
building's
it
pretty
packed?
busy, every day.
7 days a week. Okay, that's what I wanted.
You have a question?
I do, number 7, with these books, like, I just have a question, like, do they not read, I see they have another book here, I have lived 1,000 years growing up in the Holocaust, is this to, like, take place of that Diary of Anne Frank, do they read that here?
It's to take the place of that?
No.
No?
Bill?
Number 15, I'd like it separated out in the, like Peter brought up.
Okay. So, what's the rub on that? I don't,
I'll jump in.
please,
I know, I help with junior high football. Sometimes we would watch film on Sunday night because we play Thursday, we didn't practice Friday because it was a varsity game. Too much of parents had kids in both. Kids didn't really like to go Saturday, and they would rather have Saturday off and enjoy the whole day and come in Sunday night and play. It was always optional. If the head coach is sitting back here, you can ask him. We never, correct me if I'm wrong, we never, ever had everyone there. Usually 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 missed. Nobody was ever held back from playing or another word said to them. They were encouraged. Should be there, nice to be there, it's healthy to be there. If you're not there, nothing's gonna happen to you. It was just a more convenient time for those junior high kids. That's what they prefer. Especially when you get in the fall with Saturday and they start hunting and things like that. They do want to on Saturday.
Well, then Gary, you're saying it isn't the fact that it wouldn't be open on Saturday? They just prefer Sunday? That's
Yeah,
what I
that
want,
would-
no,
those
is
kids
it
are-
a preferral that we don't use Saturday and we take Sunday away?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying eliminate a day. I'm just saying,
No, but
just
I
the
understand.
rationale for what we did in junior high.
Mhm.
It was just, we did Saturdays last year, we wanted to get half the people, half the kids here. We try early Saturday morning, they didn't wanna get up later, they had stuff to do. Sunday evening was preferable to them. Wasn't to me. I probably missed out on
We can't do that Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening?
Well, that, I'm just saying, they
Sunday?
preferred it. We could do it,
But
you
I
know,
mean,
Friday night if we wanted to. We could do
is it
any-
possible to do that on
They-
Saturday rather than
They liked it, that's why we went Sunday, and I didn't think it really hurt anything. Parents, the students preferred to do it Sunday, and again, it was optional, they had something going on. And most of the times when coach would tell them that, I can't be there, I got this, I can't be there, I got that, no problem. Don't be. So,
We're just gonna let your music lap, no Sunday performance and practice prior.
do Thursday,
know.
Friday, Saturday? instead of Friday,
Well,
Saturday, Sunday.
I can see that for the kids, but I know a lot of time, like during tech week, the week before, when you're doing practices, and if you're doing a live pit, you're trying to pull performers from other school districts that are music teachers, having that ability to, be there.
Okay.
But they
You'll have to
do
forgive
that.
me, I wasn't here last week, I guess, when this was discussed, so
There's
I'm
also-
kinda caught blind on all,
Yeah.
I don't know what the rub is, so we're.
They brought it up. I'm just trying to keep Sunday a family day.
And it was also brought up, you brought up too about basketball practice, elementary basketball practice. And looking at the schedule, the elementary boys practice, I'm probably wrong on the date, but Sundays definitely, and then maybe Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and girls go Mondays and Wednesdays and that. So if you eliminate Sunday, that eliminates the day of practice for the boys as well.
But that's what I'm saying, we can't squeeze that into a Saturday, so that's my,
Schedules are,
No,
No,
I think they would,
you can't,
other than.
okay, if you
ours
can't
would.
squeeze it in, that's all right, but to use it as excuses, the students don't want to, I'm sorry, Sunday is for Sunday at all costs. But if we can't do it, then we
Okay,
can't
so
do
let
it.
me just get this straight, who's arguing what point, cause I'm not catching it. So you think that we should not have anything on Sundays, is that right?
If we can put it in on a Saturday or something like that, but if we can't, we have
Well, what we're
to.
voting on now would be, it doesn't matter if we can cram it in somewhere else or not, it will happen. So what we were doing right now, if we vote on these, is to eliminate, correct me if I'm wrong, is to eliminate the possibility of ever doing anything on a Sunday.
That's what we have right now,
That's what's in front of us.
and that's what we have in our contract right now. That's what Kay brought up, yeah.
Right now, there's nothing on Sundays.
That's what I thought Kay said, and I thought that's
it's not
what it was.
mandatory on Sundays for school.
We always have open gyms that are off on Sunday.
Right, this would take away any optional use of Sunday.
Yes, and that's the only time the elementary and, basketball, but wrestling has to have their meets on Sunday. Cause that's the only time the high school gyms live.
That's what I wanted to know, if that's the only time. and
We're
that's-
looking at, just to pull up December 10th, it's a Saturday. High school boys, 8 to 10. High school girls, 10 to 12. Majorettes are 8 to 1. Softball, 5 to 7:30. And then the previous Sunday on the 4th, you have high school wrestling. The elementary wrestling from 10 o'clock, I can't see what else is on there. And then you have high school, elementary boys basketball from 6 to 8:30. So you have stuff on Saturdays and Sundays. The 17th, there's basketball practice for both boys and girls, 8 to 10 and 10 to 12.
So there's not, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to make sure that the students weren't, opting to come Sunday instead of Saturday, and it could be done on Saturday. If they can't be, then okay, then we have to keep it open, I just wanted some background clarification.
So this isn't, again, I wasn't here last week, so this isn't the district has a problem like having janitorial staff there so that they can do stuff, it isn't anything like that that we're up against.
Okay, I just attended Sunday's performance, Harmony did, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, that's always been a family day for all the families to come, especially people that are coming from out of town that can't make it, during regular performances, I even know with ours. I just squeezed that in, otherwise.
Wrestling, I only know this got a grandson out of wrestling. The bulk, 90% of the elementary wrestling tournaments are all on Sundays.
Right.
I did help him in the volleyball all over Washington, every one Sunday. And
Okay.
by age groups, kids start first, they're not through.
So, can you separate that one out? for-
I'm fine with it, I just wanted to make sure the students were.
No, but we want it separated.
I don't think so.
No, you need to separate it out, because we're gonna vote on that one,
Oh, separate?
not in
Okay.
Yeah, to do a roll call
everything
vote.
else.
Oh, okay.
Because people wanna vote one way or the other,
Okay.
so can you do that, maybe run through to 14 and then
Mhm.
do
Yeah, I
15
see
by
what you're
itself,
saying. All
and
right.
that kind of thing.
Mhm.
All right. Any other questions in this one, Chris? Finance Committee.
Number one, consideration to approve the treasurer's report dated 10/31/22. Number two, consideration to approve accounts paid totaling $1,671,914.93. Number three, consideration to approve the renewal of a license and subscription from Power School totaling $13,039.22, effective 2/9/23 to 2/8/24. Number four, consideration to approve a secure agreement with Sneak Fire Safety Equipment Incorporated for complete portable fire sprinkler service at a yearly cost of $1,007.73, effective 7/1/22 through 6/30/28. Number five, consideration to approve the renewal of a 3-year enterprise products purchase agreement with Filbert National totaling $30,149.50. Number six, consideration to approve resolution number 111522-01 as presented, electing not to increase our property tax rate above the PDE index of 6.2% for the 2023-24 school year. Number seven, consideration to approve the donation of 50 old chairs to Reed Township Municipal Authority. Number eight, consideration to approve the removal of old broken weights and 20 pieces of equipment from the cardio and weight room to be sold through an auction. Number nine, consideration to approve an agreement with Central Intermediate Number 10 to provide school-based access program accounting services effective 12/1/22 through 11/30/23 at a cost of 10% of the value of the net claims for each month of the agreement was cost for 3 months after termination of the agreement due to the nature of SBAP invoicing and payment system as follows. First month, 7.5%, second month, 5%, third month, 2.5%. That is it.
Questions, comments in finance? Okay.
Number 9, I just wondered, could this be done in-house, like Jeff is here? I don't know whether he'd be interested in something like this, or giving him that 10%, or that percentage of 10%, or one of the clerical staff, rather than putting it out.
Yeah, Troy can chime in as well, but we talked about that with what's going on with the transition with Amanda coming on as secretary, Troy coming on. The access funds are funds that we're not receiving right now. They're all gonna be new funds coming in. We talked about having the IU, or the CIU, handle it for the first year, and then transferring it to us.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
It just was a lot going on right now with the transition, getting everything straight.
And the idea behind that is through that transitional period of them managing it now, we will learn to make sure that we're not only compliant, but we're maximizing those funds. Because there's different things that need to be in place and carried through. And I haven't been in the medical access enough to have it mastered as of yet. But the plan would be eventually transition that to the district.
Troy, after, let's say a month or two, we start this December 1st, say February 1st, would the IU be able to provide us with a breakdown of what funds that we've received?
Correct.
And what funds they've taken off the top of
Correct.
us?
Yeah.
So we can show the board, and then,
It would be my expectation to get a regular report of that, so it would be, transparent to everybody, so we can see what we're getting in number on. The last time the district had any funds, I believe, was 2019, and that's when the fund, Glendale did use the bill with medical access, but it ended, I believe it was 2019, to where at that point, the fund balance was, spent on whatever. I don't have that information in front of me, but then it wasn't pursued after that.
Other questions in finance? Nobody seeing, we'll move to transportation. Mr. Keller.
Consideration to approve Todd Showmill for the 2022-23 transportation drivers list retroactive to 11/2/22. Number two, consideration to approve a 2022-23 specialized route for a student to the Cambria County Association for the Blind and Handicapped in Evansburg, Pennsylvania for 2 days per week.
Questions in transportation? None being heard. We'll move into administrative reports. District report, Mr. Gilday.
well, thank you. So, as we said earlier, we are advertising for a number of positions. We're looking at also contracting possibly with outside services, for substituting, possibly new employees. Once I have some concrete information, I'll share it with the board. I know that Ignite will charge a $2,000 finder's fee, meaning if they find us a successful candidate, we hire that candidate, we pay them $2,000. But I want to have all that information spelled out for the board from various organizations or companies. We've also started looking at Ignite services for staffing, substitutes, on top of what we already have coming into our building, our district. We're also reaching out to ESS, which a number of local schools utilize as well, to provide additional substitute services for our classrooms. Something that came up, which I put on my agenda for my notes for all the board members, is possibly looking at increasing our substitute pay as we go on to a current position. For example, or the same position, if I'm substituting for Miss Gallagher, she's out for 40 days. If I'm in there every single day, after 30, my sub rate bumps up a little bit. And then after 60 days, my sub rate bumps up a little bit. And then after 90, that's a long-term sub, then you can become step 1. So just some discussion on that, if anybody wants to talk about adding that, increasing our sub pay as the days go on for the same position. Now, if I'm in for Miss Gallagher for 10 days, and then I go to Mr. Epley's room for 10 days, that starts over. So it's just rewarding our subs for dedicating their time for those longer stints. Because we all know as substitutes, once they're in there for a long period of time, they're grading the papers, they're writing lesson plans, they're doing that above and beyond extra work. So I think they should be rewarded for that moving forward. So I'm going to we're going to include that in for the next agenda meeting as well, if there's any questions.
Yeah, I was just wondering, we're having staffing issues. Remember the concern that was gonna give the easers that $500, has that been acted upon to help keep these teachers here?
Help keep our teachers here?
Yes.
Not at this time. It has not. We do have funds in there that I will talk to
Are
the
they
board
gonna
about.
be granted that?
We'll
I
talk
thought we
about
brought
that.
it up on another meeting.
I brought it up that that's a
Yeah.
possibility that was in there. I know Mr. Sabato budgeted that money into the ESSER funds, but $500 is fantastic. I think all the teachers deserve, all staff members, not just teachers, all the staff members will deserve that money.
Because I know other districts, some are 1,500, 2,000, that's what they have there, yeah. I think it's important that we
Right.
show that.
No, I agree.
These teachers and staff.
Within the packet I gave you is an organizational chart as well for our district. We do not currently have a policy 008. It's for you to review, possibly, not possibly, I would like to add that policy for next agenda. It's once again, it's an organizational chart a lot of districts utilize. That's in the packet. Also, our results from our pay survey, which is our county did. It's actually a statewide survey, but this is our results from our Clearfield Jefferson survey, county survey, sorry. And the biggest point that popped up, which I met with our admin team about, was the depression and suicide risk. Has it definitely increased, and that's definitely something we need to look at in the services that we have for our students moving forward. Having a full-time social workers helping out, or 2 full-time guidance counselors help out, and then we also have other services for our students as well. I just wanted to share with the board the survey results. Also, Mr. Gallagher and I were lucky enough to go to the conference last month, and we went to a number of different sessions. We included a summary of those sessions within the package so you can review. It was mentioned earlier about the band festival and the National Honor Society inductions. We also received our PCCD grant. Not the full funding yet, but just some questions from PCCD regarding the funding and how it's being utilized. I resubmitted back to them some clarification on that. But in saying that as well, it's on the agenda to be approved tonight, part of our policy number 222, tobacco use, putting in a statement regarding referral to Cambria County Behavioral Health Liaisons. That will help us out, and they will provide funding for our vape sensors, not for the program itself to run the vape sensors, but the actual mechanisms. We'll be able to receive a grant to pay for those mechanisms. And then the running of the program to run the sensors will be through the PCCD grant. So that's a plus and a benefit for us. I know Steve is gonna probably mention about, I know he will, the construction updates. But I would like to bring up to the board, when Mr. Gallagher and I were in the conference, we met with a lot of companies in regards to energy savings that they have to offer. Every company is better than every other company. We've heard that a lot, Mr. Gallagher, you can chime in if you would like, but I would like to pull the board of how you would like me to pursue this. We have different options. We can pursue it as a board, small group. We can advertise that meeting, have companies come in, give their 2 cents to us, give their spiel, what they can offer regarding energy savings. Big picture is lighting, changing all of our lighting to LED lights, the cost savings that will provide us over the future. They've also can look at energy savings, heating, cooling, look at what we spend on a yearly basis, a weekly, monthly, yearly basis, and then how if we make upgrades in regards to energy savings, how it will save us in the future. Any kind of meeting we have with a company, whether it's an electrical company, an engineering company, doesn't obviously tie us to that, but they'll give us ideas of what we can do moving forward. So it's up to the board how you would like me to pursue it. I can pursue it, one, on just my end with Mr. Skiback, administration, coming up with the best proposal, sharing those proposals with the board. Or two, or the second option is I can open up a meeting, from the right, Amy, with that, post it, that we're having companies come in, do a small presentation to a few members of the board, if not the whole board, and we can make a decision that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the board is interested in exploring it, put it on the agenda and have the, yeah, and have a company or two come in. Now, if the district does decide to pursue that, then there's an RFP process for, state legislation that will have to be followed.
You want to get with Mr. Metzer and figure out evening to have a building and grounds committee meeting, and then you can have a couple of them come in and kind of just tell you what we're talking about, and if you want to pursue that from there, if they feel it's something worth doing, we can put a request for proposals out. Everybody okay with that?
Moving forward, once again, I mentioned about the policy, the tobacco use update. The technology, I'm not sure if I mentioned this last month, but I'm gonna mention it now. We are gonna budget next year for approximately $10,000 through ESSER 3 funds to pay for insurance for damages on devices. That was mentioned. Did I mention that last month, Thea, or not? Well, we can use ESSER funds to pay for damages to our devices. So we've worked it out with meeting with Eric that for the first damage, ESSER 3 funds would pay for that. And then after that, we would save $30 for insurance after that. So the first breakage, hopefully we don't have any, first breakage will be covered through ESSER 3 funding. And we'll have that on the agenda, obviously, it's not gonna be inactive till next year, but we'll have that on for the agenda next month or 2 months. We'll have that all spelled out. It is also in our Chromebook insurance plan. We did do a rotation of devices, and I think that was approved last month in regard to selling devices to graduates and 6th graders and rotating devices. As we get new classes come in, we'll give them a new device in that rotation, but that was approved last month.
Can I just mention one thing? We have $30 for insurance after the first repair. You mean, student wouldn't have to pay that unless they have.
The second repair, the first repair is free. The second repair would be $30. Well, they'd have to buy the insurance ahead of time. So let's say if I have a Chromebook and I break it, first one's free. You broke it, now you fill out the form for the insurance, $30, breaks it again, it's covered under that $30.
That's not gonna be a nightmare for the clerical.
With Eric?
I was writing here, what's it?
Like, if they don't have to pay that $30 insurance, only if they have a second breakage, that wouldn't be a nightmare for clerical work to keep it. Okay.
So whenever a device breaks, we'll issue the insurance form. To fill out, sign, you don't want insurance, you want insurance. But right now, the start of school, the first day of school, everybody has insurance on the Chromebook. Unless the child picks it up and we have it in writing and throws it against the wall, that's a little different. Accidental breakages. You know what I'm saying? Met with the admin team, and we're talking about working on the curriculum cycle. We're probably gonna look at January 13th, where department chairs will work with the staff on curriculum, posting it online, at least starting with a breakdown of what we're doing every week, every month, every semester, and having that online for us. Record retention, digitizing our records. I know, Eric, we've talked about that. Do you want to mention that real quick before we move on to you? But did you bring up digitizing your records? Oh, Mr. Stacy.
Yeah, we're starting, we have to keep 100 years worth of records in our little vault in our office, and we're starting to run out of room, and we still have about
100 years worth of student records.
It's with regulations, so.
Yeah, we always had to keep 100 years worth of records.
And then that's the official educational records, it's not like the teachers' grades or things like that, but if it goes into the official record.
What was the official, like the official records, like they graduated, they passed, and stuff, so it's not actually all the grades through the whole thing.
They
well, we
have-
keep transcripts, and we keep, pretty much if it was in their file, we stick it in another file, just in case. We've had to go back several years for social security claims, for.
I didn't
all
realize
kinds
it
of
was
things.
100 years, that just seems excessively long.
It does.
Because nobody lives to be like 118.
So we're
You know,
running out of
very,
room.
very rarely does that happen, but anyway, okay.
So we're running out of room.
We'll try though, we'll try like hell. Alright, sorry about that, didn't mean to digress.
So we're gonna get, Mr. Stacy and I have talked about that, I apologize. We're gonna get some prices on that for the future, to scanning our records, to digitize. And there's professional development December 9th coming up, some special ed and safety training, and then have some meetings coming up. And then next year, October 15th and 17th is the PASA and PSBA conference. So please board mark your calendars. You know, at the conference we saw, well, I was in a meeting with, Butler was presenting, and they had 5 or 6 board members there during the presentation, so they would talk about presenting next year. You can leave.
Or not.
So mark your
Although
calendars.
I would be very interested in going next year.
It was,
I wasn't able to this year, but I would really like to next year. Did you think it was worth going?
okay, that's it.
Okay.
Can I just ask one more thing? Okay, I've used like this professional development, Gia, now is she, because remember how she didn't wanna continue her?
Yep.
That means she's done in December? I
No,
don't
she's
know.
still consulting now, so when's the last time Gina was in, on Monday?
In the building?
Yeah.
Yes.
Last week, was she here last week at all?
No, she did work remotely for a few meetings, but she was not on site.
So now she's more of a consultant, so she'll come in and do a differentiated instruction training with our high school staff as an as-needed basis, like we had in the very beginning. So we started with Gina as a consultant, moved her to the interim director of special education, now she's back to a consultant for the rest of the year. Most of her time she's going to spend reviewing IEPs that were written by our staff, and making sure they're up to code and compliant.
Yeah, the plan with that, working with Gina, as far as her review of IEPs, currently, it's everyone that's completed. As she works through with different staff members and there are less and less mistakes, she'll turn it to more of a spot check, where, okay, hey, not everyone, so that'll hopefully be reduced continually over time.
Very good. Anything else for Mr. Gilday before I move on? All right. Mrs. Batcher, you're up. Elementary report.
I just have the one, I had passed out, 2023 child advocacy calendars, for your enjoyment. Child Advocacy Center in Clearfield, serves, children who, have experienced some type of abuse, which is sad thing, but they're a really wonderful center that do a lot for our students, and I have nothing but good things to say about them, and they've also come in to do trainings for our staff as well. So inside that calendar, you'll see some elementary art award winners, and those students are Memphis Ledford, Josephina Lamelua, Emma Kozak, Arabella Gallagher, Carissa Hutton, and Danny Williams. So congratulations to the students.
Thank you very much. Mr. Stacy, secondary report.
I don't have a whole lot. I just, this past month we did have our parent-teacher conference, which went very well. I was gonna bring up NHS and Tri-M, that was already brought up. We did have county band. We had about 200 students here for county band this past week, and I got to pick up my baton again as a guest conductor, so that was kind of fun. And they're gonna talk a little bit more about the construction project, but the teachers are, at this time, moving back in, starting to get settled back into their rooms, and we're about ready to finally turn it back over to them. So I'm sure that Mr. Skiback is gonna get into a little more detail on that. So that's my report.
Very good, sir. Mr. Kozak.
Yes, sir, just one item. So beginning, hopefully with the January board meeting, we're gonna start bringing more students to the meetings as part of our Students of Distinction. As in previous years, we brought about 10 students per meeting to introduce them to the board and their contributions to Glendale. So look for that to begin in January.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Skiback, you are up next.
Yeah, update on the construction. Last Wednesday, we had the rooftop unit installed. Everything went good, no accidents or anything with the crane. The countertops in room 204 and room 207. We had ordered, there was 2 dishwashers that had to be installed in there and a refrigerator. The refrigerator's fine, the dishwashers did not fit under the countertops. We measured the countertop heights to the top, finished top, was 32 3/4 and 207. And 204 was 33 3/4. Well, standard dishwasher height is 34. Notified J.C. Orr, and he contacted the architect, and it was actually the architect in their drawings, it was actually a problem, an issue. So they're talking about that now, to what needs to be done on that. Haven't heard back yet completely on that. Other than that, the electric data drops, those guys are gonna start next week after Thanksgiving, second shift. And then Hall's guys, on the new unit there, just getting it piped in and started, there's gonna be a second shift next week too, starting up on that. And then something else I wanted to ask you guys about too, the unit that they're tying in, could we ask them to make sure that is up and running with complete heat for maybe 2 weeks or better before they start the demo on any of the other units, just to be safe that we do have heat, that something wouldn't go wrong before they just completely start demoing, just to be safe. Here on the grounds, the maintenance staff out front here, they start on some of the landscaping here. Mr. Bilday let us get some of that done. It's actually gonna help out with the mowing and stuff like that. So they actually took out some of the trees, planted a few new ones, and just re-landscaped out there. The sewage plant down here, the staff down there, they took the roof, fixed the rafters, top plate. I mean, it was pretty rotted from all the years ago, the steam, stuff like that coming out down there. They did all that and more or less fixed the plywood, header support. We widened the door 8 foot, laid new block brick so we could put a door so we could actually have a storage down there to use it more. It had no plywood door on it. So we found a cost-effective roll-out door for that. And that'll be coming here in the next few weeks. The finishing up on the metal here, I think we talked about it a couple months ago there. There's still a little bit of that left. So they're in the process of filling the second dumpster there, and then we'll be paid for when that's hauled down. One other thing there with the heating system there, I know Mr. Franks is gonna talk about too, the tech side. We're still having an issue with communication of the Medicus program. It's working good at times, and then other times we're still having issues on control problems. So the Johnson, one of their techs came in, he looked it over, what you guys agreed on here last month. He had done that process, and then there's a little bit more here to maybe to get us up. I'll let you, Mr. Franks here, explain a little more on the tech side.
So essentially from what he's telling us is what you guys approved to replace are called NAEs. The NAEs are the brains, and they run, like, basically tell the controllers what to do. The controllers, from what I'm being told, are like 23 years old, and they're basically, they don't make them anymore. So if something breaks, and I guess this was kind of, we were unaware of this, but I guess they were pulling parts from some of the other ones to fix the more important ones. Well, then whenever we started looking into the system, when this company came in, we started noticing there were certain controllers that were just down and we couldn't get back up. So when Johnson's came through and we started picking through it, went parts missing. So what's happening was, instead of, since they couldn't buy the new ones and it was so expensive to upgrade, they were just pulling parts from the other ones to fix them. So you can't replace a controller without putting the new NAEs in, because if you buy a new controller, it won't work with the old NAEs. So now that we have the new NAEs, if there's a bad controller, you gotta start replacing those. The bad part about, I mean, we're getting quotes right now, but we're following basically the steps of the chain of commands that you have to follow in order for their system to work. But according to the guy, when I said, what are we looking at cost-wise, he just kind of like went, and he's like, I'll sit down and get some stuff together for you and let you know. But we haven't heard back from him, but that was from two guys from Johnson Controls that told us that.
So the controllers that we have currently will work with
The new NAEs, yes.
The new NAEs.
But any of the controllers, if they break, we'd have to replace them, but we couldn't replace them until we replaced the NAEs, if that made sense.
But the NAEs are replaced.
They are now, yes,
Okay.
so, yes.
So my question is, can we have a mixed lot of controllers? As we break them or they're already broken, need replaced, can we put a new one in and leave what's already
Yes.
there? Because then we'll work with the new.
Yes. Yes, the old controllers do work with the new one. I think the biggest problem is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but how many broken controllers did they find?
I think 4 or 5 right now.
Yeah, I think,
Getting,
yeah, I think just in their looking, they found 4 or 5 of them. I wanna say they were around 400 to 600 a clip just for the controllers. That doesn't include install. And from my understanding as well, and this is something that he said he has to check, because we checked a few of them, there's different wiring going to each one. Some of the wiring is updated, so it'll work and you only have to replace the controller. Other controllers that break have really old wiring from like, I guess like the 90s, and it has to be replaced in order for those to work. So they have to figure out, is it just 400 for this controller that breaks, or is it gonna be more because the wiring has to be pulled? So I think it's kind of like an individual basis, but the guy did come here for an entire day, and he's supposed to come back with a quote to fix what is broken right now. Because the other problem is, we got apparently, and you have to excuse me, I'm new to this, I just started researching this a couple months ago, but circ pumps are running very hard.
Yeah,
I
we're
think they're
getting
around like
intense heat.
$8,000 a piece if they break, and if this stuff doesn't get fixed, the circ pumps are just gonna keep running. And I know on his system, it was showing him that they weren't running, but they were. And when they are running, it's showing him that they're not sometimes, so that's, I guess, a problem because they're overheating.
We had a power outage Friday night. Saturday morning, it was still showing the system was running at 6 o'clock. Well, both pumps shouldn't be running at the same time, though. It just causes a lot of heat. You can actually hear it in the building here if you go in some of the team room example. I mean, you go down there, it's moving a lot of water quickly. It should be doing that, but the system is making it do it. We can't really stop it from doing that. But it's showing, even at home on my laptop, that everything is running well, but it isn't. I got a call about 6:30, 7:15 that nothing was on, but yet it was showing it was running. So it's kind of throwing me off there, and it was actually the gas line there actually froze up. Because we have a pilot, it's a gas fire first before the oil fires. So we need that to get it going. So it was just a heat gun issue, we got it going. You know, it took a few hours till we got it up and running. But the big problem is the new phase 1, phase 2, with the system there, that's gonna be newer. To get them to in sync together may be a little bit of an issue. Because we're not up to date. We're on Medicus 9 and they're up to Medicus 12 now, Eric? correct in saying?
I
That's where
believe.
he said they, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is we're, like I said, we're talking to 3 different people from there because they have different departments. And like I said, we have the Austin who's coming here now. And I think,
This is the overall operating system?
Yes.
yeah,
You'll have to plug them in medicine, not you.
yeah, I'm just learning myself as well on this because like I normally take care of this.
Pretty good tonight.
I normally take care of the server that like runs the stuff, but I just got my Medisys login and I've been working with, is his name Jim?
Yes.
I've been working with Jim quite a bit on that, so yeah, we're starting to learn a little bit more about
So
it, but.
are you asking, is this like you're telling us your woes tonight, or is this, you're
This-
telling us your woes and this is what we wanna do? We wanna make some unbudgeted purchases because we have to, or what are we getting at here?
This
Like-
is
like,
just,
wind it up.
this is just more of a, we are gonna have quotes from Austin coming back that you'll probably see next month.
Okay.
And that'll be a decision, there's gonna be probably multiple ranging from like smaller to very large on how you guys would like to proceed, because at this point, if we at least don't fix the broken controllers that are there now and get like the, are they called sending units? And get the sending units fixed, then you might start burning pumps at 10,000 a clip.
So what you're trying to get for us next month would be what we really need.
Yeah, the absolute
Maybe-
bare minimum to make
maybe
sure.
something, well, maybe not bare minimum, but I mean, obviously the minimum, but you know, what makes sense to do now, and then
Yes.
a plan for how you wanna upgrade these as they go, maybe try to budget some, okay, we figure, you know, 4 more controllers are gonna crap their pants over the next year or so above what we already have, so maybe we start budgeting that in,
Yeah.
working with Mr. Gilday and Mr. West over there. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, I think that's kind of the plan, but yeah, like I said, when we get quotes back, we'll let you know. Like I said, I just started learning into this whenever, you know, him and I started, and it just,
Yeah, I mean, I think we're usually on the same page with you as far as we need to keep, you know, Castle going.
yeah.
Fix what needs fixed.
Yeah, and I think in the past, it was just more of a, it was so expensive to do all this, that, you know, it was easier just to pull from other things and fix it. Now, I guess we're out of spare parts.
Right, we're up against it, we need to move on, but what I'm saying is, you get what you pay for in life, so don't like El Cheeseball this, so that we're
Oh,
probably
right.
setting ourselves up to have a problem later, even though it kinda gets us out of the hole we're in now, like, be realistic with us, and if you think we need this much more done, then maybe we should just do that, or at least give us the options.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah, that's why I told the guy, I said, you know, because he said it can rain, yeah, oh, next month we'll give you everything.
Anything else, sir?
Yes, sir.
That's it, all right. Let's see here. Mr. Epley, you're up next.
Probably most excitedly, Kelly Goss, our school psychologist, started yesterday. She came back again today. She's definitely hit the ground running. She's really acclimated as far as the building and the plan moving forward.
She is our full-time.
She's a full-time, she's a Glendale employee, yep.
Great.
So I'm pretty excited to get her moving. As far as professional developments, the Wilson reading trainings have now been completed with 3 teachers. Unique learning system has been completed. Those professional development opportunities were completed with multiple teachers. Foundations it's currently in process, and Touch Math the trainings for there will be up and running.
Okay, excellent. Mr. Westover.
I'm pretty
Tell us
boring,
some
I
good
don't
news.
have much, but the AFR is finished and believe it or not, there's still schools that don't have their AFR done or finished, so we're good. And the CPA firm is, they were in here the last week, they should have the single audit report finished probably early December. Usually she comes in here January or February to present that, so, from what I'm hearing so far so good. That's all.
That's all. Good. Mr. Frank, anything else in tech while we got you here?
I think I bugged you guys enough.
You did a good job, though. This is Denise.
She's not here.
She is not here tonight. Anybody have anything about food services? No. Good. Okay, that winds it up in admin reports. Is there anything else for the good of the order before we close the work session and move into the regular monthly board meeting? Hearing none, I will adjourn the work session and we will move into the regular monthly